Let's start. Come over to your mat. And as always, we'll start, have your heels under your knees. Just check in with the position of your feet. We're going to go into your roll downs. Have your heels under your knees are under your hips, tummy's in. We're going to take your time through the first roll down. I want you just to slowly just think about your in breath as the stretch and your out breath as the peel down. So only peel down as you're breathing out. Once you finish that out breath, hold for a second. Have your in breath deepen the stretch where you are, and then your out breath drop you down a little bit further. And just take your time. Any spots that are catching or grabbing your attention, just hold it for a second. Think of the crown of your head dropping down to the ground. Hands are heavy. Just melt to the floor. Scoop your tummy in when you can. Once you get down as far as you can go comfortably, bring the weight over your toes, lift your sit bones up behind you, and then we'll slowly come back up to standing. Shoulders rolling back, chest is open, deep breath in, and we'll do that again. Slowly peeling down, scoop your tummy in, and just make little notes of where you're feeling this. What's grabbing your attention, where you need to work a little bit or stretch a little bit. When you get all the way down to your toes, we're going to grab your elbows, soften your knees if you need to, if you feel like it's straining behind your knees, and we'll sway side to side. So heavy head, heavy arms, and just sort of like loose waving side to side. We'll come back to the center, you can let go of your elbows, and then slowly come back up to standing. Shoulders rolling back, chest is open. Now we're going to bend your knees as much as you need to. Bring your hands onto the ground. We'll straighten out your right leg. Reach your right hand up to the ceiling. Look to your fingers. And like we did yesterday, we're going to hold this position for a second. Take your hand up over your head like you're waving to me. And then back up to the ceiling. And then back down to the floor. And we'll change. We're just going to alternate side to side. Reaching up over your head. Big wave. And then change. And the knee that you're bending, see if you can bend it a little bit deeper. Really find that stretch in the lower back. And you're breathing however feels comfortable to breathe. Keep your belly button really tight into your spine. And we're going to do one more on each side. You're breathing, big stretch, big wave, and change. Last one. Open, big stretch, and then back to the ground. We're going to slide forwards. Have your hands under your shoulders. Knees are under your hips. I've just brought my hands way too far forward, so it's just bunched my shoulders right up to my ears. If you find that you're in a similar position, just walk your hands down a little bit further. So you're squeezing your shoulders down your back. You're thinking like a really nice long neck. We're going to arch your back into an angry cat stretch and drop down. Open sit bones, open chest. So if you know your variations for this, you can just make it your own. If you need to, you can turn your fingers out to the sides, and that will give you a bit more mobility in your shoulders. You'll have more, be able to squeeze your shoulders down your back a bit better. You can also, when you're arching your back up, you can push back slightly over your heels. And when you're dropping your tummy down, you can push forwards over your fingers. And that will change it a little bit. And you can just flow with this. Feel like the breath is making each move happen. I'm going to do one more on each side. And now we're going to hold in the center. Have your belly button really tight into your spine. We're going to take your right hand out in front of you, reaching it up, circling around. Look to your fingers as you move, and then back to the ground. And we're going to alternate side to side. So breathing in, circling up, breathing out to change. Now, if you want to isolate a bit more in the upper back, you can use the Pilates ball between your legs. Have a good squeeze on that, and that will stabilize in your hips. So you'll move through your hips a little bit less. You'll feel like the work is a bit more focused in your shoulders and upper back. And you're breathing as you do this. So you're breathing in and open, nice opening through the sternum, open chest, and breathing out to change. I'm going to do one more on each side. And last one. And we'll hold in the center. If you still have the ball, you can have the ball still between your knees if it's there. We're going to push your right hand, left knee on the mat as hard as you can, and then left hand, right knee. So have a good squeeze, push, 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 and change. Squeeze, push, push, push. So nothing visually is happening, but you'll feel that deep core strength shifting side to side. And as you're pushing with your hand, you're squeezing down your rib cage. You're pulling your belly button in. You have a nice little tuck through your tailbone. Make sure your lower back isn't dropping down. If everything pulled in, scooped. And the harder you push, the harder you're working. If you have the Pilates ball between your knees, you can try to keep a good squeeze on that. And as you're pushing with your opposite hand and opposite knee, you're trying to pull the ball up and in. So you're kind of engaging the pelvic floor a little bit more with each move. Now we're going to change your hand position. I want you to bring your hands right together as close as you can comfortably under your chest. And same again, so opposite hand, opposite knee. You'll feel like with your hands closer together, you're working a little bit more in the center of the upper abdominal muscles. And if you feel like your hands, like your shoulders are bunching, maybe your hands are a little bit too far up the mat. So maybe bring them down a little bit more under your chest. And now we're going to change the hand position again. I'm going to have you bring your hands just to the edge of the mat or the outside of the mat, a little bit wider than your shoulders. So I've just gone a bit wider, you can see. And we're going to push again, opposite hand, opposite knee. And now just by changing that hand position, you should feel more of the outside abdominal muscles. Think about as you're pushing with your hand, you're squeezing your rib cage down, you're pulling your belly button in, and you're breathing with it. Now I'm going to bring your hands back under your shoulders. Sorry, one more move with the hands. If your wrists are going a bit nuts, you can take a break, give them a little swirl around. You're going to curl your toes under, strong through your shoulders. Use that deep core lower abdominal strength, and you're going to pull your knees off of the mat by an inch. Hold, and then tap them down. And again, pull. It is super tiny. It might be so tiny that it's hard to see on the video. Make sure you're not overdoing this. You want it to be really focused and small. When you're lifting your knees up, you're still squeezing your shoulders down your back. So you're still using those pull down muscles. Make sure you're not using the scrunching up to your ears muscles. Your belly button's pulling in. And you can just use your breath with this. Think about the breath to lift and the breath to tap. We'll do 10 more. We have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and drop down. Take the ball off to the side. Nice work. We're going to swing around, go onto your back. You just clicked everything on it. I'm going to keep using the ball. You don't have to use it. You can use a towel, you can use nothing. You can find your variations with it, but I think the ball just works a little bit better. Onto your back, have your heels under your knees. Squeeze the ball with your knees. I'm going to have your hands next to the sides. My hands are in like a bit of like a passive position, so I'm not really pushing. My palms are open, they're a little bit wider off to the side slightly. I'm going to squeeze the ball tight with my knees. Think about pulling it up and in. We're going to eventually get into bridge, but I want you to start with just thinking about squeezing the ball and pulling it up using your pelvic floor. So you're pulling, and you'll notice when you do that, you tuck your tailbone and your back pushes a little bit heavier onto the ground. So just keep that going. Squeeze the ball, push your lower back, pelvic floor, and then relax. So we're just easing with pelvic tilts. And squeeze, pull, and relax. Palms are open, shoulders are relaxed. It looks obviously like we're doing nothing, but you should feel like you're working quite hard. Pelvic floor pulling, squeeze, pull those upper abdominals down, sink your belly button in. Try to shorten this space. So your hips are pulling up, your ribs are pulling down, and your back is pushing heavy. Now we're going to slowly pull up into a bridge. You're going to start peeling your spine up one vertebra at a time. And because your palms are open, you're not using your arms much for this. It's all just in the core. So you're breathing with each move. Put all of your thoughts into what's happening in your spine. What spaces are feeling like they're catching? What spaces are feeling like they're a bit stuck and hard to move through? You can think about squeezing your bum, pushing your knees away as you're peeling up. When you get up to the top, you've got the invisible rolling pin under your chin, and you're going to roll yourself down. So your sternum, ribs, belly button rolling down. And you're going to breathe in up to the top, and breathing out down to the bottom. We're going to hold up at the top for this one. Now you've got an imaginary skateboard under your bum, and you're going to slide side to side. Your knees aren't moving. If they are moving, they're pushing in the opposite direction. So my hips are off to the right, my knees are pushing to the left. You're just working side to side, taking your time, just slowly rolling down one vertebra at a time as you work side to side. And there's going to be spaces that are catching your attention, that are feeling like they're really needing this side to side move. Just stay there a little bit longer. Let's breathe with it. And when you finish that and you get all the way to the bottom, you can bring your palms next to the sides. You're going to peel up again, and you're going to float your arms up over your head, breathing in and up. And breathing out, floating back down. And breathing in, peeling up. And breathing out, floating down. Now that we've gotten the hands moving, you're going to notice that you're not paying as much attention to your spine. Let's just go with that. Just think of the breath to lift and the breath to drop. So don't worry too much about one vertebra at a time. Just keep the movement going. Focus your attention on the moving with your arms, the lifting with your back, and the breath working all together. And we'll do one more. This last one, you're going to keep your hands up over your head, glue your hands to the floor above your head, and then slowly roll back down one vertebra at a time. Now focus your attention, take your time with this. Just peeling down slowly, 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 slowly. And then when you get all the way down onto the mat, I want you to glue your back down. So your hands are going to stay up over your head for a second. I want you to slide your ribs down, pull your belly button in, pull your pelvic floor up, and just stabilize and tense all across your stomach. Now we're going to lace your fingers behind your head, have your elbows open, and we're going to slowly curl up, peeling your shoulder blades off. Put the weight of your head in your hands, tuck your chin, pull your ribs down, really strong across your tummy. Push your back really heavy, and we're going to gently twist to one side, and then back to center, and then gently twist to the other side. I want you to find this is led by your ribs. So your ribs are leading across, and then your ribs are leading across, and that's what's helping you move your shoulders, elbows, head, all of that. So it's led by the stomach. Pull your belly button in really tight and check in with your hips and legs. You might notice as you're twisting that your hips are wanting to move, that your knees are moving side to side. Try to lock them into place, really strong. We're breathing out to twist, breathing into the center, breathing out to twist. And we're going to add the next step in here. I'm going to twist and reach my opposite hand across the outside of my knee, crunch up a little bit further, and then back behind my head, and then to the other side. So a little extra crunch if you want to work a bit harder. And again, think about the ribs really squeezing down and across. Check in that you're not moving too much through your knees. You're squeezing the ball really tight. Pull your pelvic floor. Pull up, pull up, pull up. Don't forget about pelvic floor. This is your sort of secret focus for the class. Don't lose that strength, that connection there. I'm going to hold on one side. Crunch up, really strong, stabilize. Squeeze those ribs across. Now take that hand and reach it up and down. We'll do 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. To the other side, reaching across, crunching up, and wave. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And back to center. Lace your fingers still behind your head and back down onto the floor. Have your elbows down, head still heavy into your hands. Squeeze your rib cage down. Squeeze the ball and bring your legs up into tabletop. I'm just tapping my toes together. Squeeze really tight, pull the ball up and in, and then separate your toes. And then toes back together. And toes apart, and toes together. So just keep that move going. Try to make the move as slow and big as possible. You'll feel like you're working the outside space in your hips. Remember that your ribs are pulling down, your belly button's in, your stomach is really, really strong. You're going to hold your toes together, squeeze your toes together, pull the ball up, and lift your tailbone up and down. So the move is super tiny. You can think about doing this with pelvic floor. So imagine you've got like a marble right inside, and you're going to use your pelvic floor to pull the marble up and then relax the marble back down. So think of this being led very, very internally. As soon as you think of your pelvic floor doing it, you'll notice the move becomes a bit smaller. I'm going to do 5 more in the center. And 3, 2, and last one. Now same idea, but we're going to go up to the sides. We'll pull up to the right, back to the center, and then up to the left. So think of that internal marble again. So you're going to pull the marble up to the right and down to center and up to the left. And again, as soon as you lead this internally, it becomes more focused and a lot smaller. Pull your rib cage down as well. Push your back as heavy as you can. We'll do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. We'll take the ball off to the side. Bring your knees into your chest. We'll rock little circles on your back. And you can reverse your circle. And then we'll come up onto the mat. Nice. We're going to go into some rollbacks. If you're feeling vulnerable in your lower back, you can use the ball as a bit of a wedge. And that, you can have everybody try that just so you understand the little move. You're going to have the ball onto your lower back. Your knees are about shoulder width apart, maybe not all the way shoulder width, but just a little bit wider, not squeezed together. You're going to squash the ball with your lower abdominal muscles, scooping, and then bring the weight off of the ball. And squash and off. So if you don't need it, you don't have to use it. If you're not using the ball in your lower back, you can bring it between your feet. But that is nice if you're not feeling super stable and secure in your lower back. So ball either in your feet or onto your back. Hands are onto your knees. I want you to use your knees to try to pull together, but then you're going to use your hands to pull your knees apart. So your knees are going in, your hands are pushing apart, your shoulders are squeezing down, and you're going to scoop your lower abdominals in, squashing the ball or squashing the invisible ball, and then back up. So scoop, squeeze, pull, and then back up. While you're doing this, now that you've gotten this move, I want you to now think that I'm stood behind you and I've got my hands on your shoulder blades. So I'm pushing on your shoulder blades. You're pushing into my hands, but you're not able to move through the shoulder blades. So it's all just really focused lower abdominal muscles. And you're still pulling your knees apart. Your knees are pulling in. You're squeezing your toes together. It's a lot happening for this very, very tiny move. We'll keep this going. I'm going to change how you do it slightly. So as you're pulling back, you're using the abdominal muscles. And as you're coming up, you're squeezing your shoulders. So now I'm pushing, so I'm using my hands and my shoulder blades to pull back up. Tummy to scoot back, shoulders to squeeze up. And you're breathing. Remember that your neck is nice and long. If you start to feel like you're using your jaw, or this is going into your jaw or neck at all, bring your tongue onto the roof of your mouth. Sounds weird, it works. Just keep that strength of your tongue onto the roof of your mouth. For next level, we're going to take your hands up off of your knees. Keep all of that we were just doing. I want you to keep doing all of that, but your hands are floating now. So you're squeezing up and squeezing back down. If having your hands off of your knees doesn't feel helpful, you can keep them onto your knees. Just find, with all of the options I'm giving you, find what works best. Remember that your shoulders are low. As you're getting tired, your shoulders are going to want to bunch to your ears. Just keep pulling them back down. Now find a spot and hold. Find a spot where you feel like this is kind of challenging, but you could stay there for a little while. Shoulders are down. Reach your hands up and down. So breathing in and up and out and down. Squeeze the ball wherever it is on your body, between your feet or onto your lower back. I want you to put a lot of pressure onto it. Do 5 more. 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Now hold in the center. Stable through your knees, stable through your sit bones, and we're going to twist, breathing out to one side, breathing into the center, breathing out to the other side. Now think of your waist like a pepper grinder. So we're twisting and twisting. And while I'm doing this, my knees and my hips are super wobbly and shifty. That is completely wrong. So I'm going to stabilize a bit better through my knees and my hips. That makes my twist a lot less impressive, but it is more focused where it needs to be. So if you're doing something similar, just check in with your sit bones, lock them into place. Let's call this one the last one. Excellent. If you have the ball behind your back, throw it between your feet and then bring your elbows behind your back. Notice here, your shoulders are scrunched right up to your ears. You're going to use that upper back strength and lift your back up further from the mat. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Think of open collarbones. You're going to squeeze the ball with your feet. Bring your legs up into tabletop. Perfect. We're going to roll gently to one side and then gently to the other side. Now your elbows are really heavy and you're just kind of, sorry about this, you're just rolling side to side, grinding across your tailbone. Ignore that pain that you're feeling there and just think about your stomach. Relax your jaw, relax your eyebrows. We'll come back into center. You can set the ball onto the ground. We'll just push it away. Get rid of that for a second. And bring one leg up into tabletop. Bring the other leg back into tabletop. We're going to tap one foot down, pull it back up, tap the other one down. Your tummy is strong, your shoulders are away from your ears. You guys look great. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop your feet down. Nice work. Roll onto your side. And have your head into your hands. Knees are stacked. Push your hand really heavy onto the floor in front of you. When you're pushing your hand, you're squeezing down the side. So we've got that squeeze there. Pull your belly button in. We're going to take your legs up into the center. Squeeze your heels together. And now slowly push your knee up to the ceiling and then back down to the floor. And squeezing open and squeezing closed. If this feels easy, try resisting the move. Imagine that my hand is pushing onto your knee and you're pushing your knee into my hand really hard. And you're also pushing your hand onto the mat. Pull your belly button in really tight. Squeeze your shoulder blades down your back. Excellent. And now we're going to drop your feet down. Perfect. Now we're going to lift both feet up. Push. Notice that your hip is rolling forwards, but as your hip is rolling forwards, your shoulders are squeezing back. And then drop your feet back down. And squeeze up and back down. So I'm using my hand at the front and my shoulder blades at the back just to stabilize through this move. We'll do 5 more. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Keep your feet down onto the ground. We're going to take this top foot and lift it up and down. Do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and 3, 2, 1. Now glue your toes down and lift your top knee. And again, 10, 9. Make sure nothing else is moving. It's a small move. Use your shoulders to stabilize. Push your hand heavy. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And stretch that top leg out. Glue your toe down onto the ground and bring your bottom leg forwards a little bit more. Push your knee heavy, point your bottom toe, and lift your bottom leg up. And again, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now toe is down, now lift your knee. Nothing else is moving, just that bottom knee. It is tiny and challenging. Do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Let's come up from that, flip over to the other side, and we'll do the whole thing all again. So again, hand is on the front, shoulders are squeezing down, feet are in the center, squeeze your toes together, and then resist, lift that top knee. All of this work that we're doing here is fantastic for strengthening and stabilizing the hip flexors. So if you're really hypermobile in your hips and you have issues with your lower back and sacrum, this is a fantastic series. Great for everybody. Just remember that you're resisting each move. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Now you're going to lift your feet up, roll your knees forwards and back. So you're pushing with your hands, squeezing with your shoulder blades. You'll feel that rolling forwards crunch through the waist. And 5 more. 5 and 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Keep your feet down onto the floor, and we're going to lift your top foot. Again, slowly resisting, like you're working through honey or slow motion. Push your hand really heavy when your toes come up. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now glue your toes together and lift your top knee. It's a lot smaller when your feet are glued to the floor than when your feet are hovering. Keep your tummy strong, don't let that drop. A lot of the moves that we're doing today look very, very easy, but there's a lot of stuff happening internally. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then take that top leg out, bring your bottom leg a bit forwards, and push your knee heavy, lift your toe up. And then again, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now glue your toe down, lift your knee up. And again, 10, 9, make sure nothing else is moving, just that bottom knee. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Come up onto your elbow. We're going to go into side plank. I'm going to give you about like 500 variations for your side plank. You can choose which one works best. Not really, I'll give you like 4. You can have your knees stacked, have your elbow under your shoulder. You can have top leg out or both of your legs out. Have your top foot in the front. If you want to work extra hard, you can take the ball and throw your top foot on the ball. Your bottom foot will be around the back. So those are your variations. You're going to have your hand reaching up to the ceiling, sling around your waist, pull yourself up into your side plank. If you're using the ball for this, push on the ball as hard as you can. Lift your waist a little bit higher. Perfect. I want you to really stabilize through this shoulder all around here. Squeeze your shoulders down your back. Everything's working right now. We're going to start dropping your hips down and squeezing them up. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold up, bring your hand to your temple, and we're going to twist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And drop down. Flip to the other side, we'll do it again. So, same variations on the other side. You have the ball, you have your top foot on the ball, bottom foot's wrapping around the back, or your knees are stacked, hands up to the ceiling. Sling around your waist, elbows under your shoulder, and lift. Lift your hips a little bit higher. Squeeze all around this shoulder, nice and strong. Breathe. And we'll start dropping your hips down and squeezing up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold nice and high, hand behind your head, and gently twist down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And drop down. Whew. That was kind of horrible. Let's stretch out of that, and then we're going to keep going into more horrible work. Crisscross your legs in the center. Bring your hand across onto your opposite knee. We'll take the other hand out to the side. Rainbow stretch up to the ceiling, lifting right up out of your waist, and then slowly bowing forwards, reaching to the floor. Breathing in, rainbow up, and breathing out, down. We'll do 2 more on this side. Stretching up, and down, and back up, and down. 1 more. Big stretch up and down and all the way back up. And then to the other side. Hand onto your knee, reaching out to the side, rainbow up and bowing forwards, breathing out. Breathing in, back up and out and down. 2 more. 1. And breathing in and breathing out. And last one. And all the way back up. Excellent. Come forward, you're gonna lay onto your tummy. We're gonna go into some shoulder work. Have your hands next to the sides, nose onto the floor. I want you to squeeze your chest up off the floor. Push your fingers, arms, elbows on the ground as hard as you can. And notice here when you're doing this, that you're pushing down. You're using these like pull, squeeze down. Like think of your shoulder blades melting into your back, not shoulders to your ears. So we're gonna breathe with it. Your out breath is gonna be your push on the floor as hard as you can. And your in breath is a relax. And just keep that going. It's all very internal. Just push and squeeze as hard as you can. When you're pushing with your hands, your ribs are pulling really deep and tight. Your belly button's pulling in. Your feet aren't lifting. They might want to lift, but don't let them lift. Keep them grounded. Feel all around your shoulders working, backs of your arms, armpits. Remember, the harder you push, the harder you're working. When you're pushing, you'll feel like you've got like an earthquake shaking across your shoulders. That's where we want to be. I'm going to keep the same idea going, but I want you to make your hands into a triangle just above your head slightly. And we're going to do the same thing. Push and squeeze, and remember those pull down muscles. You're pulling your shoulders away from your ears. And you're breathing to push and breathing to relax. We'll do 5 more like this. 4 and 3, 2, 1. You're going to push your left hand really hard on the floor, reach your right arm up, and then pull back, shoulder, elbow, wrist sweeping back behind you, and then back in, elbow, shoulder, and down. And then your right arm pushes, left arm lifts, and slowly sweeps back, and then back forwards. Just keep that alternating going. One side reach, back in, and then that pushes, the other side lifts, and reaching back. You're trying to keep in as close to your body as you can. So it's all elbow, shoulder, wrist working as well. Remember your long neck, collarbones are open, pulling down. We're going to do 1 more on each side. And last one. And then all the way down. If you have, I think everybody should have the Pilates ball at this point. If you don't, you can kind of you'll do the same move, but you'll just be pushing on the floor. Bring the ball just over your head. I'm going to have you push on the ball as hard as you can. Your nose is just floating off the floor slightly. So we're pushing the ball, squeeze all around. You're going to feel all around working where your arm connects into your body. I'm going to breathe and push, and then relax. And breathe, push, relax. Squeeze your ribs down, pull your belly button in. And now we're going to work a little bit harder. We're going to keep that push going, and you're going to lift your chest up and then back down. So you're doing like a little mini cobra lift. Think about pulling as you're lifting up, your shoulders are pulling down like deep into socket, and then push away. And push the ball, lift your chest, pull your shoulders down your back. The lower you come up, the safer this is for your lower back. So the higher up you go, the more vulnerable you are in your lower back. So you can keep the lift nice and tiny. Higher up doesn't mean better. We'll do one more. And then relax. Throw the ball off to the side. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Curl your toes under. And you're going to push yourself all the way up into plank. If that plank is too tough, you can just stay onto your knees. And we're going to hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you can drop your knees under your hips. Keep one arm straight. Bring the other one in a horizontal position, elbow, forearm, hand onto the floor. Check that your shoulders are away from your ears. Squeeze them down, pull your tummy in. I have my right arm straight, so I'm going to take my right leg out straight as well. Strong through your whole body. Push your arms really heavy to the floor. Tap your toe down and squeeze your bum to lift your leg up. I'm breathing to tap and breathing to lift. Use that core strength to stabilize so that nothing's moving, just the leg. And keep that push really hard onto the mat. Perfect. Squeeze your shoulders down your back. You're lifting your leg by squeezing your bum and dropping your leg by relaxing. We'll do 10 more. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold at the top. Bend your knee, flex your foot. Kick your heel up to the ceiling. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop down. Push back into child's pose for a quick stretch. And we'll come back up out of that. I'm going to flip over to the other side. You guys can stay in whatever position works for you. Bring your right arm into horizontal. Left arm is straight. Left leg is straight. I'm going to point your toe, tap to the ground, and squeeze up. We're doing 20 of these. Remember that your shoulders are away from your ears, your tummy's really strong. You're squeezing your bum to lift and relaxing to float back down. You can use your armpits to squeeze your shoulders away from your ears. Find your breath with it. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold at the top. Bend your knee, flex your foot, squeeze, kick your heel up and down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 3, 2, 1. And drop your knees down. Push back into child's pose and stretch out. Nice work. We'll come up out of that. We're going to go into some stretches. Let's sit in the center. Bring the bottoms of your feet together. I've got a couple variations for you with these ones. Bottoms of your feet are together. Make a big diamond shape with your legs. You're going to have your elbows on the inside. I want you to use your elbows to push your knees down and like push them apart. Now use that internal strength. You're going to push and lean forwards. You can pull forwards to one side, pull forwards to the other side. And just feel like you're going with a flat back with each move, with each adjustment. We'll come back to center, same leg position, hold on to your toes. You're going to bring your left knee up to your shoulder and then use your whole body and collapse over towards the right side. You'll feel an amazing stretch all on the back, running up the side, sort of lower back, hip, bum. And you can drop that knee down. We'll flip over to the other side. Bring your right knee up, flop over to the left side. Give it a full breath and then just keep moving side to side. If this feels weird or not right for you, you can just go into little variations that feel familiar and comfortable. You can have your knee up, roll to one side, knee down, next knee up, roll to the other side. And we'll do one more on the other side. And then back to center. Come all the way up from that. Pull your feet in really close. Hold on to your toes. You can lean forwards with a flat back with this one. Push your knees down as much as you can. Don't worry about how far your knees go to the ground yet. Just hold in the center, flat back. And then with your sit bones, with your hips, I want you to draw a circle on the floor. Now I'm just using this circle to just scan around in my hip space. Whenever it grabs your attention, just give it a hold, give it a breath, and then keep moving through. So this is just looking for the spaces that are tight, that feel like they need an extra bit of a stretch. And you're breathing with it. You can reverse your circle. And again, that circle is just scanning, looking for spaces that need a stretch. So once you found the space, you can stop circling around. Now come back into center, lean forwards, push your knees down to the ground as far as you can. You can use your elbows, you can use your hands, push them right down to the ground. Nice. We'll come up out of that. Bring your foot across your knee. So you're going to use your left foot and your right hand. Pull your knee into your chest, lift your back, and push that hip down through the floor. You can twist over your shoulder if you'd like. Think of a really straight spine. Pull your knee in really close, push your hip down through the floor. And we'll come out of that, we'll flip over to the other leg. So you've got your right foot, left hand, pull your knee in, lift your back, push your hip down through the floor, and twist over your shoulder. And you're breathing with it. We'll come out of that. Now bring your right foot next to your side. Have your left foot onto your inner thigh. Hands are into a T. Drop your left hand onto the floor. So we've just done that so we're not there or there. So you're just perfect under your shoulder. Now bring your right hand behind your head. Stable through this shoulder, stable through this hip. We're going to twist, breathing out, look behind you, and breathing in, open. We're going to do 5 like that. So you should feel the stretch in lots of places, but you'll feel it more focused in your upper back, upper middle back. We'll do 2 more like that. And last one. And now, next variation, same idea, but you're going to go down onto your elbow. If this feels too much of a strain, you can just keep going with the first variation. And we'll twist again. And we'll do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll come up from that, flip your legs to the other side, and we'll do it again. Hands into a T just to check your shoulder position. Excellent. So you've got your right hand onto the floor, left hand behind your head, stable through your shoulder, stable through your hip, and twist, look behind you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you can go down onto your elbow. And same again. Twist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And come up from that. Nice. Let's crisscross your legs in the center. Take your hands out to the side. You're going to push your fingers really heavy. Walk them as far away as you can. Lift up really tall. Now open your palms up to the ceiling. And then close them back down to the floor. So you'll feel a horrible tendon stretch running all on your forearm and your hands, up to your shoulders. If sitting with your legs crisscrossed isn't comfortable, you can sit up onto your knees. We're going to keep that hand open and close going, but just work them a little bit further back behind you. And feel like as you're breathing in, you're opening through the collarbones a little bit more. Pull your fingers back. Now we're going to reach up over your head, push the air up to the ceiling. Deep breath in. And breathing out, hands float down to the ground. Breathing in, push the air up over your head. And breathing out, down to the ground. We'll do 3 more like that. Breathing in and up. And breathing out, down. 2 more. Breathing in and up. And down. Last one. And all the way down. You can bring your hands onto your lap. Give your shoulders a little roll back. Chin to your chest. Head's nice and heavy. Roll your ear to your shoulder, corner of your jaw up to the ceiling. Pull that opposite shoulder down and back. And then bow your head back down. Chin to your chest, ear to your shoulder, jaw to the ceiling. And just keep rolling through. Give a pause anytime it's catching and feeling like it needs an extra hold. Think of your shoulders gently melting down your back a little bit further. We'll do 1 more on each side. And then back to center. Give your shoulders a little roll around. And officially you guys are done, but I'm going to do an extra 10 minutes of just horrible stomach work. If you want to join, stay. If not, it was lovely to see you guys, and I'll see you in the week or next week. If you're joining, go into your back. Stomach work. All the way down. Pull your knees up into tabletop. Hands are next to the sides. We're going to squeeze your ribs down, pull your belly button in, and tap 1 foot down and back up. And keep going with this. I'm going to flow through 10 minutes. If at any point you need to stop and take a break, just pull your knees into your chest, rock little circles on your back. The goal of this right now is the tension across your stomach. Tapping your foot to the ground, not the priority. It's just lowering your leg to put the strain across your stomach. Keep your toe taps going, and lace your fingers behind your head. Have your elbows open and curl up. Push your head really heavy. Keep tapping those toes. And we're going to start twisting. You're going to twist to the leg that's in tabletop and twist to the leg that's in tabletop. You're breathing out to twist, breathing in to change. Remember that your head is super heavy in your hands. You're squeezing your ribs across. Push your back heavy, push your back heavy. If at any point you want to make this more challenging, slow down. It sounds like the opposite of what we should be doing. The slower you go, the more challenging this is going to be. We're going to come back to center, legs are in tabletop. We're going to go single leg stretch and pull. Single leg stretch and pull. Squeeze those ribs down, push your head heavy. If you want to make this a bit more challenging and your legs can manage and you're not clunking in your hip, you can start dropping your leg down to the ground. Strong through your tummy. Feel like your stomach should feel like you've got like a boulder set on it. So it's really heavy, zipped in super tight. Now we're going to add that twist in just like before. We're going to twist to your knee and twist to your knee. If you would like to make this harder, you're going slower. If you want to make it extra harder, you can twist and hold for a second and then change. So that extra little hold in your twist just makes it a million times worse. Keep going, strong through your tummy. We're going to change it now. You're going to take your hands, tuck your chin, take your hands onto the outside of your knee, push your knee into your hands, push your hands into your knees, and change. The harder you push your knee into your hands and your hands into your knees, the harder you're working. When you're pushing on your knees, you're squeezing your ribs across, and you're tucking your chin really deep in. It's better to have many double chins with this than less double chins. I'm kind of watching the time. We're just going with it. I did say 10 minutes, but we'll see how that goes. We're going to come back into the center, hold onto your knees, curl into a ball, glue your back down, stretch your legs, stretch your arms, and then back in. We'll do 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull your knees in. Rest your head for a second. We're going to stretch one leg out. Pull your knee into your chest. Curl up. Stretch that leg straight up to the ceiling. So both of your legs are straight. One is out, one is up. Pull your chest up to your straight leg. Scoop your tummy in and change. And change. And change. And just keep going. Again, if you want to make this more challenging, you can go a bit slower. You can hold at the top. If you want to work a bit harder, hold, lift your chest, and then change. Let's do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my God, it's about to get worse. Keep going with your legs. Lace your fingers behind your head. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way down onto the mat. Whew, killer. Keep going. Take your ankle over your knee. Have your hands next to the sides. Bring your leg into tabletop. So I'm going to change legs actually. So I've got my left ankle over my right knee. You're going to lift your tailbone up in the center and then down. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Same leg position. I'm going to lace my fingers behind my head just to work my upper abdominals a bit more. And now we're going to keep this move going, but you're going to pull up to the right and then down to the center. And again, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now up to the left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And change your leg position back to the center. So now I've got my right ankle over my left knee and lift in the center. And again, we'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now up to the right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and to the left. 10. Last one. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your legs into tabletop. Toes together, knees apart. Curl up. This is our last bit before we officially finish. We're going to crunch up in the center. Take your left hand, reach to the inside of your right leg, and then change. Opposite hand inside of your leg. Try not to move your legs at all. If this is bothering you and it's feeling too much on your hip flexors, you can do the same thing. Just reach to the inside of your knee with your feet down. So a little crunch up and a little twist. Now let's hold in the center. Keep that lift with your head. Elbows are open and lift your tailbone. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And drop down. Pull your knees into your chest. Rock little circles on your back. And come up to sitting. Bottoms of your feet are on the floor. Hands are next to your hips. Push yourself super shaky all the way up to standing. Have your heels under your knees. Knees are under your hips. And roll down, touch to your toes. Hands are heavy, head is heavy. Breathing in all the way up to standing, shoulders back, chest is open, and you guys are done. Nice work, guys.